asset tracking with IoT. Connected Finland has been present for 4 years. It's the first nationwide IoT network operator in Finland and Estonia. These are countries in Europe, for anybody who's new to these countries, and very advanced as well. As a partner of international Sigfox community, and to support clients with implementing their IoT strategy in both countries. They're very, very conversant with IoT and have been doing fantastic works in that regard. As the industry leader in Finland and Estonia, they're securing high-quality IoT network covering more than 85% of the population already as at today. Tom will be discussing how IoT is transforming the way businesses operate in Nigeria. As a country, we're very open to new technologies, and Tom's going to be sharing with us some of the new technologies that we can be adopting in our businesses and in our organizations. Today, we're discussing secure tracking of high-value moving assets. There's a lot of insecurities and distrust that can come into mobile assets in this country. The road networks are not always reliable, and those carrying our goods and are driving our assets from point A to point B, best that we have data on those things so that we can make better informed decisions in our businesses, and also improve our delivery to the consumer. Just to bring this home, asset tracking has a lot to do with logistics, and we're all aware of the repairs to be done on the Third Mainland Bridge. And you can only imagine how that's going to impact daily life as well as business operations. The traffic is going to increase, and so all the estimated timelines for product delivery and operations between one branch and another, they're all going to be affected. So you have to be smart, you have to be aware. There are lots of solutions within IoT that enable you to be aware and have the information as when you need it on demand. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead with our first presentation by Mr. Tom Lindblad, the founder of Connected Finland.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Melanie. Is the stage mine? And hopefully you can hear me rather well.
So sorry about that. Apologies. To go fast, just to welcome you is only right. We will want to give you a proper welcome. Mr. Larry Ola, the Executive Chairman of IoT Africa, will set the tone for us today, and then you would go on with your presentation. Sorry about that mix-up. So we welcome Mr. Larry Ayola, the Executive Chairman of IoT Africa.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining here today. We're looking forward to an exciting time in this webinar. So I'm going to go ahead now and share my screen. So I want to check you, Melanie, can you see my screen? Can anybody see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Larry, yes, we can see your screen.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so basically, I'm going to talk to you today about the potential of IoT and the future of asset tracking in Nigeria and the Nigerian business. This presentation should take approximately 30 minutes, and then at some point in time, perhaps after Tom has made his presentation, we'll be taking questions. If you wish to ask any questions, please feel free to write your questions down in the chat, and we'll be very happy to answer all the questions. So All right, so I'd like to introduce to you first of all IoT Africa and Connected Finland. I think Melanie has done a good job to introduce Connected Finland to you. But IoT Africa is the exclusive Sigfox operator for Nigeria. Officially, we're called the Sigfox operator of Nigeria. What does that mean? That means that we are mandated, we are licensed to roll out a low power wide area network in Lagos, in Nigeria, sorry, providing you with connectivity to the Sigfox low power wide area network. This will obviously enable devices to connect to the internet and then to your ecosystem. We'll talk more about that later on. We are IoT Africa with TransIT is also an exclusive partner with Connected Finland, and we deliver a wide range of IoT devices to Nigeria. This partnership is strategic and very important for our development in Nigeria, and of course Tom will later on tell you a lot more about that. We are deploying the Sigfox low power wide area network throughout Nigeria. We have it, we're in Lagos, Abuja, and Rivers State now. And basically, we will be enabling smart cities, smart agriculture, and so on. We'll talk a lot more about the verticals later on. Connected Finland is a turnkey IT solutions provider, and it offers network devices and device and data management platforms to B2B customers. Connected Finland is also the exclusive Sigfox network ecosystem provider in Finland and Estonia. The wireless Sigfox network technology is ideal for mass IoT solutions. So I've gone through that very quickly because we have lots of other exciting things that we're going to focus on. What makes Sigfox unique? Obviously, before IoT Africa selected Sigfox as a technical partner, we looked at several other technologies. And what we found out was Sigfox is actually the best in the world. And it's not just the best in the world because we say so. There are some particular attributes that Sigfox has that makes Sigfox, unique and a powerful service provider and enabler for the Internet of Things. Sigfox is global and reliable. And what does that mean? If you have a Sigfox device in Nigeria and you move that device to 70 other countries in the world, your device will work there without you having to sign up with any additional contracts. So it provides a one contract, one network solution for you. This is very important for logistic companies and people who want to track parcels and containers, shipping containers and the like. We provide a managed network with high quality service and high resistance to interference and jamming. This is unique. GSM devices currently can very easily be jammed with a $150 jamming device. This is not the same with Sigfox technology. So this makes Sigfox a lot more resilient to mischievous people. Sigfox is simple. There's no pairing required. It's a plug-and-play system to a large extent once you have integration with your platform. So basically, it's no connection or protocol, the only way to reach the simplest and most efficient thing between objects. Sigfox items are generally passive, leading to low energy. So Sigfox devices are always in sleep mode until they hear something, see something, feel something, notice a change, until they've been programmed to wake up and take a measurement. They're passive. This gives them an extremely long battery life. We have battery lives in the Sigfox device range ranging from 4 years, even up to 10 years. So this is unique, which means you don't need to charge the batteries in order for the Sigfox. The battery lasts for that long without any recharge. This is very unlike GSM systems where you must charge your battery at least every 2 days. In the case of Sigfox, this is not the case. With one battery life, you can take it up to 4 to 10 years, depending on the device and depending on the number of messages that are delivered every day. The overall total cost of ownership for Sigfox solutions is the lowest in the world. They use the lowest power, they're the lowest cost, and the annual charges are the lowest in the world also. So we provided a TCO that is the lowest, and this is beneficial to many industries, especially industries that require thousands and thousands of devices to be installed in their ecosystem to monitor what's going on. And when you're connecting thousands of devices, and in some cases millions of devices, you don't want a high cost of ownership. And Sigfox provides the opportunity for you to bring your costs right down to the lowest level and benefit from it. So now, the Sigfox network. It says here in 65 countries, but the Sigfox network is now in 70 countries. We're covering over 1 billion people in the world now. It wasn't so in 3 years ago, but today in 2020, we're covering our network coverage around the world covers over 1 billion people. We have 10.3 million devices that are already covered, that are already connected to a Sigfox network somewhere in the world, delivering 22 million messages a day. This is quite remarkable. And this is just the beginning, because the world is just waking up to the importance and the power of the Internet of Things, IoT. So really, currently, the Sigfox network span over 5 million square kilometers, and this is quite an achievement, and it's growing. So what do we provide? Essentially, what you can see now is you have the object data. This is a device that measures temperature, pressure, geolocation, environmental conditions like CO2, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, moisture, can sense moisture, and many other things. Can sense whether a car is parked in a particular location, for example, can tell you where your dog is. And some people, jokingly say, eventually we'll be able to cost effectively tell you where your chickens are, for those who do free-range chicken, have free-range chicken farms. So we're talking about monitoring oil fields. It's really valuable things, obviously. To monitoring goats, and where they are and how they're doing. So it's very broad indeed. So they basically, the device, which we call the object collects the data from the environment in which it's in, and then it sends it through radio protocol, sending very small data packets, less than 12 bytes, which is one of the reasons why it uses very little battery. And it sends that data packet to the global network, to the internet. So through the internet, we move to the Sigfox cloud. And from the Sigfox cloud, where it is stored for you, it goes to your data analytics platform, which could belong to you or a third-party service provider. And then from that data analytics platform, it goes to the customer, to you. And you are able to see your data in virtually any format that you want to see it. You want to see it in graphical form, or you want to see it in just a list of figures. So you decide how you want to see it. And then you can now observe your data and monitor your environment. So basically, IoT Africa, in partnership with Sigfox, enable you to observe your entire ecosystem, whether it's industrial, commercial, business, or residential, or even your persons. It allows you to see your entire ecosystem in a convenient and very cheap manner. So what can it be used for? I'm going to go through this very briefly, because later on we'll have a lot to show. It can be used to track assets and also to track people. It can be used to monitor your assets, to be smart buttons. For example, you can have a smart button in the hospital, you press that button, and it will tell the nurse that you need some help. Or it could be your older parent who needs your help. He or she can press that button, and immediately you get notified that your parent needs help. You can have this arrange of buttons that can tell you emergency, or need help, or need servicing, or with fridge or whatever.
So you have smart buttons, you have smart parking that can tell you the occupancy of car parks, so you don't have to roam around the car park looking for an empty spot. You can look at your app and see exactly where the parking slot is available. Obviously, it helps the owners of the car park to manage and know how many cars entered the car park, how long they were there, and when they left, when they arrived. Street lighting, smart street lighting can save governments or estates or municipalities as much as 60 to 70% of the cost on energy. That's massive. That's really massive. And so smart street lighting is really moving like wildfire across the world because it's saving lots of money and it's also helping towards the green revolution. Um, you can have devices on smart on manhole covers, so you know when somebody is going into a manhole tank or to maintain. Smart water metering without any cables and so on. You can have smart water meters that can deliver the information on how much water is being consumed for as long as 7 years before you have to change the smart water meter. You have electricity metering, gas level monitoring, oil level. In Nigeria, because we use a lot of diesel for our generators. So you might want to know the level of your diesel generator, know when it has been topped up by the supplier, know how much he provided, compare that information with the invoice you receive, and then you're adjusting value for money. The water level is going to become a very, very important measurement going forward because water is becoming scarce. Waste level to know when to empty the dustbin. Smart irrigation to know how much water you need and provide enough of money when you need water. Soil humidity, rain gauge, water leaks, attendance monitoring to know when people arrive and when they leave, especially security personnel. Office user space to know who's sitting at the desk, or not necessarily who, but how, what is the occupancy rate of the desk. Air monitoring to know what is the quality of the air, because air quality is really, really important for the productivity of your staff. And Tom, I'm sure, is going to talk a lot about that because we have some excellent solutions in that area. Energy efficiency, swimming pool monitoring, smoke detectors to save your lives. Imagine wireless smoke detectors that can give it alarm on your phone whenever there is a fire, and even link it to the fire station so that they know when your house has a fire without any cables at all. Intrusion detection to know when people enter and when they don't, and to know if they're authorized or not. So you see, there are lots of use cases that IoT can be applied to. I'm going to go on to the unique selling points of Sigfox. Cost effective, it has a global reach, low power consumption, which means the batteries last a very long time, a very wide ecosystem. It's anti-jamming. It has predictable consumption because based on the number of messages that your device sends to you every day or every week or every month, you can actually predict very, very accurately how long the battery is going to last. So you can plan your maintenance, which of course we can do for you if you don't want to get involved in that. It's really easy to deploy. There's very good indoor penetration, which is not the same for GPS devices, or some devices. It's very good, has very good security, so your data is always safe, and you can you have a global service level agreement. Anywhere you go, your device will work for you. So Sigfox is cost efficient, and thanks to the total cost of ownership, we will achieve cost efficiency, low energy, and low global reach. So how does it work? And where does Sigfox actually sit? Sigfox is low cost, covers outdoor and some indoor, and it is a lot cheaper than GPS or GSM solutions, and this will become very obvious as we proceed. So this graph also shows you where Sigfox sits with other technologies. It may not give you well, it depends how you look at it. Sigfox tracking, Sigfox devices can work with all of this. Sigfox devices can work with the Sigfox Atlas suite, which is not very accurate, but on board the Sigfox device, you can have a Wi-Fi solution, which gives you very good accuracy. You can attach beacons as well. They give you fantastic accuracy and GPS as well. So you see that Sigfox devices can work with all of these technologies on one device. And you can program it to kick in so that you optimize your battery life. That's a brief of that. Because of time, I'm rushing through. I don't think it takes too long. I should cover all the slides. So what do we have now? We have, Sigfox. We unlock the world use cases, one network, one contract, one device. What does it mean to be smart? Being smart means getting the best out of those functions, minimizing the risk, minimizing the worries, minimizing your anxiety, putting your mind at peace, maximizing your peace of mind, maximizing the profits of your company and optimizing your operations. That's what I think being smart means. So if you can sit down and at your fingertips on this device, for example, on a simple smartphone, you can see your entire ecosystem, whether it be an oil field or it's your home, to your office, to your factory, and you always will know when something is about to go wrong, when something has gone wrong, when somebody has arrived, when a parcel has arrived, when your container has arrived at the seaport, and when it leaves the seaport and is on the way to your factory or your warehouse. Having access to that information surely brings you a lot of peace of mind. So that's what I mean by being smart. Those smart means remove they can remove the unknown from your list of things to do every day. The asset tracking market
Ismail. Ismail.
And it's a growing thing. People order containers and they don't use them as a life or they don't know where it's going. So
Hello, very me.
containers, 10%
Fine.
of the shipping containers are
When you find
well, it's not unusual.
okay, funny. No, Trying. Okay.
Sometimes it takes months to find out.
Àbájọ wọnú tí mi dákun. Àti ló ṣe mú ẹ̀yin gbádùn.
Allow you to track your container from origin to
You go do wetin? Your ex-girlfriend. Nati. Abeg collect for me too if you dey go collect. Nati. How about tea? Kí ni ti padà dé ni? Kí ni ẹ̀? Wọ́n ti padà dé bọ̀ díẹ̀ wọ́n fi sí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá tẹ́lẹ̀ bá tán máa rà mí. You dey there plenty for kitchen na. Wọ́n lọ wá gbà mí sí báyìí. Abeg put for me too. Just a pack cup for you. I just like this.
Ready for IoT?
Oh, you need that. So we can move that back.
That
Hello. But we can get this and this and go to say me. I will me arrange. But we all na pe afa pe ba wa ni pe ma bi pe emi ta ta le do pe. Mo ti san o pa on pe ya. Mo ti san fún yín náà. Mo ti san fún yín tí wọ́n kò ní bàbá lé pé ó di 21st February bẹ́ẹ̀ bí next year wọ́n ṣe máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti mẹ́sàn-án. Má wọrí ìfilẹ̀ èmi ṣe ti gba ayé.
I gave to you this morning, you were not around.
Sorry, I went to play ball.
I'll get to see you in my eyes first before I see anybody else.
Hey. So you close your eyes as you're calling.
Because you're not here, so I now saw Abdul. Since I saw Abdul, now that's why I was not seeing everybody. I'm not happy.
Why?
I should see you. I should feed my eyes with you.
Are you happy
Your
now?
presence.
Are you happy now?
Early morning, not seeing anybody.
Thank you. I'm okay. I'm very fine.
Where is Vincent?
At the back of the door.
And you want to know where they are. Are they still
No, down.
Somebody's been in one position for too long, you might want to check whether it's collapsed.
I mean, you don't like it too.
I don't like this one. I like
it.
I don't like it.
So if some people want to know where their children when they go to school.
Thank you.
So you don't say I'm finished with that. Yesterday I was telling you to take her back. You know it's right.
I should do it. I ate now, but it was very little. Are you serious? My own. I told them that they should eat it now.
Oh, nobody. So like, it's my tea I'm giving you now. I'll not now give your tea because it's you my love.
Me, I go there.
Because it's you my love.
Okay.
So drink it with love. Drink it.
My friend, can't you pour
Yes,
it?
man. I will drink
Yeah,
it.
it's your money. So pour your own here.
Thank you.
You are eating tea, but not tea is eating for money. Eh? I say I eat tea for money. Yeah, I don't want this thing.
So the Sigfox are tracking predictive payments oil and gas. So we're going to
You know put sugar?
every aspect of oil and gas.
Hey, she said sugar deal. I don't want to plenty sugar.
No, it's anyhow. No, the hotness.
For me, I like sugar. I like pepper. I like sugar.
Me too. I like pepper, but sugar.
You like say that you know like pepper? Daddy? No, you know they complain.
I never see that you compare African. They say if it's too much.
For us, we do two kind of soup. So, the one I don't pepper now for my father. I don't know pepper.
Serious?
Eh?
Eh?
For me, for some people, for the rest like of you.
And I mom see they cook am like that.
I don't know how to start am sef. You just start and you come become normal. So they do different one for your person. What do the other one for everybody for house? Every day. You dey try. When you put a tarugu and teta, she almost
Maybe your popsy get ulcer too. Okay. I like Doki. Doki dey fear pepper. Small one like this, you see am, you no go chop again.
We buy Kose, buy the Kelly.
Congo
You
goods.
collect your dinner, you go chop everything. You go chop am. My sister will get another send down.
Current level monitoring is also very critical. Same thing, we can check the level of the
So Abdul, when you go out?
whether the
Your money never finish.
Tomorrow like this.
I'll collect the last one spend out today. You know see I collect. Today she gets. I go fast today now. You go fast. We see.
So where you gonna get TP? Okay, they go send you.
We will send that TP.
Is something that is also very important because
So what about so don't be like.
So immediately.
that's where you
Is it gaskiya ba so daddy. I'm about to yen do en yẹn. Gbogbo ẹni tí ó bá sọ ọdún bí ìyá mi bá ṣe yẹn jẹ́.
Èmi náà ní bá yín dá sẹ́ran.
Má bàa dá sí àṣẹ fẹ́ bí àwọn ìfún ọ ní pẹpẹ súpù yẹn àjẹjẹ amẹ́ran kò sẹ́ran ẹyin ìlú àwọn fi jẹun.
Zainab náà òun náà lọ lé náà after akin. So
immediately after ló lọ.
Gàdú sọ fún mi pé immediately. Tí àwọn dọ̀kí bá ń lọ nítorí tí àwọn dọ̀kí bá ń lọ èmi náà mọ̀ tẹ̀lé wọn lọ.
Ìgbà yẹn lòun náà tẹ̀lé wọn.
Gàdú sọ fún mi.
Àwọn náà jẹ ẹran nù. Màá sọ fún un náà kalẹ̀ kó jẹ ẹran. Wá jẹun yóò yàgbẹ́.
Ebi ń pa mí o, mi ò tí jẹun.
Mo bọ̀ wá jọ.
Ẹ ń jáde.
Jáde.
Ẹ bẹ́ jẹun. Lọ máa jẹun. Àbí ṣe kílẹ̀?
You dey hungry? You say you wan fast. You say na volunteer.
Hello, a kó sípàsì wa o. Ẹ dá sípàsì wa padà o.
So bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn ọlọ́run nígbà tí wá.
Gàgbà filẹ̀ jàre. Mo ní filẹ̀, èmi ò wàhálà ìmọ̀sẹ̀ tí wàá gbàgbé ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run. Nígbà tó ní mo fẹ́ yìí mo rò kó rọ oúnjẹ ìgbà fẹ́ dáná gan ni èmi ò mọ̀ ẹ́.
Ṣé wàá jẹ nìkan lọ?
No, kí lẹ́yìn sí? Ẹ máa jẹ́ náà mo fẹ́ parí kí.
when it moves. And you know where it's now.
Job for two. I will say make Ore cooking baby for me.
Very, very
I bet me color.
today's world.
You won't come in.
Manual colors are very important. Job cables, very expensive cables for telecommunications.
Now,
So you really, really want to
I
whenever
Báwo ni
say, eléyìí ní connection. We are next round. Eléyìí be how many gig wọ́n fi ṣe? Bí kíní ni? Bí 20 gig. Kò nǹkan tó sì ṣẹlẹ̀ pé Airtel kìíní on scam wọn mo sọ fún ẹ pé rubbish wọ́n máa ń fà lọ. Ó lè jẹ́ bí half bí 10 gig náà ló wà ń bẹ̀. But tí lè bá parí kí n tó lọ́lé ọmọ ara mi inshallah bóyá bí 100 gig.
Two types of intrusion: authorized intrusion, unauthorized intrusion. So you want to know which is which. If, for example, you know that nobody should be in your office at 10 p.m., if you have Sigfox movement detectors, even if you shut down your generator when there's no power, the Sigfox movement detectors will tell you if anybody enters your office. And this would really save you a lot of stress, a lot of money, and protect your documents, protect your assets. And this is what Sigfox will do. So IoT Africa, as the Sigfox operator in Nigeria, is very excited to be part of the Sigfox because we bring so many solutions. And we basically change the game. We bring the cost down. We bring devices with very long battery life, anything up to 10 years. We bring use speed. We allow you to monitor assets that previously you couldn't monitor because the power is an issue, especially in Nigeria, it's an issue. And anything that needs electricity, it can't be seen to be entirely reliable because you cannot rely on it, but you can rely on Sigfox. And Sigfox, because it's operated, the devices are operated by battery, have a very long lifespan. You can literally monitor anything. As long as you can attach a tracker or a monitor to that thing, you can monitor the soil. You can monitor the moisture in the soil. You can monitor the moisture in your chicken coop or the industrial chicken farms, the batteries. You can monitor temperature, carbon dioxide. You can monitor nitrate levels. You can monitor so many different things. So you can really understand your ecosystem and keep track of it without any problem whatsoever at a very affordable cost. And that is what IoT Africa, in conjunction with Sigfox, in conjunction with Connected Finland, and other original equipment manufacturers are producing devices other than Connected Finland. Connected Finland has a good range of devices, but there are over 700 different devices available to you on in the Sigfox family. There are Sigfox Ready that can be connected to the Sigfox network that IoT Africa brings to Nigeria. So fence monitoring is what you can see on the screen. You can imagine a situation where every time somebody touches your fence, you will know. You will know that he's touched it, and you will know what part of the fence he has touched. But some people have fences that are many kilometers long. How do you know when there's been a fence breach? Previously, you had to have security men going around. Otherwise, you wouldn't know. They can't be everywhere at the same time. But by simply hanging Sigfox trackers or attaching Sigfox fence monitoring solutions to your fence, every time somebody touches that fence, you will know what the fence touched. Allows for incredible security enhancements in your organization, around airports, around factories, around farms, around other industrial establishments, whether it's cement factories or otherwise. Whether it's even a fence around where you keep your chickens, you might have 10,000, 100,000 chickens that are fenced into an area. The fence may not be that big or that long, but you want to know when somebody climbs the fence, don't you? And Sigfox allows you to do that. So even down to monitoring the location of aircraft containers. from origin to destination. And even when they get to the airport, sometimes aircraft containers are taken and lost in airports. And Sigfox will allow you to find it. And that applies to every piece of equipment that you can find in an airport. Customer satisfaction monitoring is also readily available, where as your customers are leaving, they can tell you whether they're happy or sad. What does that mean? It means without human interference, you as the owner of the business, or as the customer service manager, or the executive director in charge of growth or customer service, you can know instantly how happy your customers are. Now that is value. And that is value that Sigfox and IoT Africa bring to you. Smart street lighting is spoken about, and I won't spend much time on this, but I can simply tell you one thing. Smart street lighting powered by Sigfox technology can save you up to 70% of your cost of power by allowing you to dim the lights, to dim the lights onto the cars approaching up to 500 kilometers or so, and 500 meters, sorry. Then the lights can go up so the car can pass safely, and then the lights are dimmed again. It allows you to automatically turn on, turn off lights even from a distance, even remotely. It allows you to program your lights to behave in particular ways. So you're never using any more power than you actually need to. Now this is revolutionary. And with one of our partners called Flashlight, we bring this to Nigeria. And we expect it to do very well because it's going to save the country millions and millions of dollars. So, children, we want to know where they are. I've spoken about that at length. I would say more because we all know the value of our children. And we all know that really we would love to know where they are at every point in time. It gives us peace of mind and comfort in this world that could do with a bit more love. Tracking where your dumpsters are, where your dustbins are they full, are they empty? Should I bother sending a truck to empty the dustbin? What's the point of sending a truck when the dustbin is not full? So we need to look at that, and we need to understand how that works. We need to implement such solutions in order to improve the efficiency and optimize, minimize the cost of collecting waste. And this is what these solutions actually do. They optimize your operations, they minimize your cost of collecting waste. Attendance monitoring is also something that we can do without having the need for electricity or your own individual Wi-Fi at certain locations. Without that Wi-Fi, we work because we have our own net, and the devices talk to our own net, the Sigfox network, the IoT Africa Sigfox network, and therefore you do not need to have your own Wi-Fi to check the attendance of your workers at distant factories or farms or warehouses or whatever. So we eliminate the need for you to have your own internet connection, eliminate the need for you to have your own Wi-Fi, eliminate the need for electricity for you to monitor whether your workers have turned up or not. This is the value we bring to you. Machinery tracking. We know so many people who have invested in very expensive machinery, put them in parks out of town, and they have no idea what's going on with those machinery. Some of them cost $500,000 each, some more than that. And they have no idea whether they're working or not working. The Sigfox devices on this type of things, with some of the things that Tom is going to talk to you about, you will know when they move, you will know how long they work. You may even want to know what part of them moved. So if somebody says, well, I only drove it a few, then how come the digger was going up and down for 6 hours? It'll tell you that as well. So it makes investing in plant and machinery theft-proof. Not just for people stealing the asset, but using the asset without reporting the time and remitting the revenue from the use of that asset. This changes that place, and we don't need power. You put a device on that planting machinery,
John, I'm going to go change me.
and you can monitor that
Sure, John.
before you
Okay, that one me Indomie.
structure of that. We kind of building.
Èyí tó gbọ́ ánjọ́ yẹn mélòó ló ṣe?
We can
Ah,
build it.
ra ẹ̀kọ́ ra super pack pẹ̀lú kékeré yẹn.
Long before that.
Ẹyin ẹyọ kan náà ti tó.
This is invaluable service and same lives. Intrusion detection we've spoken about. Does your door open or close? Is it open or closed? Sometimes you leave, you forget to close your door. Asset tracking, we can track everything from boats to trains to cars to people to trolleys to parcels to shipping containers. All these things can be tracked. Freight monitoring. Where is your container? When did it leave? When did it arrive? Where is it right now? We'll tell you that. Tracking your vehicles, your cars, your trucks, your boats, etc. You know, what are the benefits? GPS and or Wi-Fi. GPS is very accurate. Wi-Fi is also very accurate. We provide Atlas, Sigfox Atlas, which is not as accurate, but foolproof. Power and SOS buttons, movement detection, charging. All Sigfox devices will tell you what the battery life is. What's the condition of the battery? So you never have to worry about whether the device has battery power or not. You also never have to worry about where your device is, because we always tell you where it is and what the battery is. Then we sense everything else. Magnetic sensors, configurable behavior messages, etc. So, worker and asset tracking. This is something I've discussed at length, so you can understand that tracking of assets is critical, tracking of workers is critical. For safety, for security reasons, very, very critical. Temperature and humidity. Many warehouses don't have any temperature and humidity monitoring, and that's why many of the goods spoil. Medicine, for example, medicinal drugs, for example, paper, fabric, different types of products have certain limits of temperature in which they should be stored. Outside of that, the product spoils and sometimes makes the product unfit for human consumption. So temperature and humidity monitoring in warehouses, in homes, even for vaccinations is critical, and that's what we can provide. Internet of Things is an amazing technology, and IoT Africa, in conjunction with Sigfox and partners like Connected Community, bring you all these solutions. Smart parking. Smart parking is something that is amazingly important in cities today. The population is growing, number of cars are growing, parking is a serious problem. Imagine if you could always tell precisely where car parks are available for you. This would be an incredible opportunity.
Wow, this is quite a lot of use cases, and just seeing all of these, you can really see how this is going to be extremely valuable to so many industries. I think we'd all agree. I think we're down to our last minute, so if we could skip through the remaining slides. It's really, really an amazing amount of information here. And I think by the time we get to our next set of slides, we'll be having orders pinging in our chat, orders for devices.
Yes,
So let me just let you round up here, but this is actually fantastic. A lot of detail. Loving it.
Yes, I'll just click through them now. Covered most of them, but imagine a situation where you can monitor the quality of water, rivers. Very, very important. Machines that will tell us what the air quality is like. We can track the luggage. Imagine always everybody on that is right with you or not. In fact, whether it's on the plane with you, amazing stuff. It sounds like too futuristic to be true. We've covered some of it before. Stolen car recovery. This is doing very well in South Africa. It has reduced It has improved the recovery of vehicles dramatically. People tracking. You can put a necklace on an old person, for example, and if they fall down and they don't move for a certain number of minutes, an alarm will be sent and you can come and rescue that person. Many old people have died this way. They fall down, they break their hip, they can't get up, they die of starvation or thirst. This can be avoided. Tracking livestock, tracking pallets, so you don't have to starve them, you can always recover them. Well, I thank you very much of you. It's been a pleasure talking to you today and sharing this opportunity with you. We hope that you've learned to about it. And of course, we can take every mistake and deliver another hour's presentation. But we want to give you an overview of what is possible with IoT Africa, the Sigfox operator of Nigeria, and our partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Larry Ayola, Executive Chairman of IoT Africa Network Limited. That was, if anybody hasn't come across IoT or the Sigfox Network, that was indeed a crash course.
Fine, no, madam.
I expect everybody to have a good understanding now.
You said I should call back yesterday now. You did not pick. You said? Okay. Have you settled down where you are staying? Why now? You have to do some things. Okay. So where are you now? Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. Okay, man.
The participants today. We've been getting a lot of questions, which is fantastic. We will be taking questions at the end of the session. And please try your best to place them in the Q&A module, which is right next to the chat. And so that we'll have them all in one place. But those who have placed the questions in the chat, we will be taking those as well, as much as time permits. So now that we are all very much abreast with what IoT is, the advantages of the Sigfox network, the strengths of Sigfox certified devices, IoT journey. The founder of Sigfox has created this presentation that goes into the space for Mr. Tom and
Yes, thank you, Melanie. Thank you so much for the introduction and just welcome Chelsea Premium and digital. I would like to just remind them and take that our distance between Nigeria and Kenya is 6,000 kilometers short of the line. It's trade line. 66240. So we are one of the Nordic countries, Nordic countries in Africa. The leading countries are in the East Russia and Sweden, and we are continuing to standards for 5 years. 5 years.
This one is not special package. This one love so when to do anything for the person. Oh, that tell me to my see this one, the petty is very plenty. I trust that you wash it well. I trust that you wash it especially.
And enjoy the Sigfox in 2015, and our country is made by the whole government by the um, Sigfox. When I was listening to inspiring presentation, so one thing that I would like to add is that the Sigfox technology is basically in this kind of a disruptive market, which means, in my words, it means that we're shaping all the, shall we say, traditional price grids and ways of working. We like to work fast, easily, in an innovative way, and find different kinds of solutions for the devices and the services that we are representing. Today, connected Finland. So yes, we have been lucky. We have been really lucky, and we have been delivering our hardware products, our sensors to more than 40 countries. So it's exactly today 40 countries in total. And we are shall we humbly happy and proud about this figure, and we are extremely happy to even serve Nigeria as our exclusive partner in Africa. The next one, please. Thank you. Our cornerstones of our business is basically the sensor development, and as you can see in the picture, so we have produced. You can see 11 different sensors, but I mean, in the middle we have this kind of detectify, connected detectify that is a motion sensor. So we have two versions of that. So it's basically two different products. I mean, if we identify just to a small presentation regarding this product, so it's a passive infrared sensor motion detector. It can be monitoring, for example, this small room, or it could be monitoring a conference room, or it could be monitoring your home. So immediately when there's movement, so it will then send a message and into the platform or into the mobile phone and so forth. The second detectify is if the first one has a wide beam, so to say, a wide beam. So the second one has a narrow beam. So we have been now delivering thousands and thousands of these devices for monitoring workstations. I mean, in the offices. Are the workstations in the landscape mode, so to say, in landscape offices? Are they occupied or not? So that's a huge business today, and as we speak, so we have a webinar to Singapore right now by my colleague. But otherwise, we are monitoring temperature, humidity, indoor temperature, CO2 levels, particle matters, for example, how much there is dust and stuff like that. Indoor air quality is a huge thing, at least in Europe, that companies want to monitor nowadays, that what is the air quality inside of the buildings. We have as well more industrial devices like temperature and humidity for more industrial usage. Other devices you see in the bottom of it. Today, however, we are going to focus on the connected that's the device that we have developed, and I will just a minute. Besides these sensors, so we have as well developed a unique software platform. IoT Africa is our exclusive partner for this software service in your country. We should take the next slide. Yeah, as I mentioned to you, so today we are focusing on the connected ranger use cases. I have picked up for you a few of them. And why connected ranger? Because connected ranger is a critical device that are really meant for global usage. It's a fleet and asset tracking device, or we could say that it's a industry grade geolocation device, both for indoor and outdoor usage. Uh, by the way, it's good for you to know that this small device it's IP68 certified, so it can be easily outdoors. It can be in shall we say in hostile circumstances, in extreme heat, rain, or dust or wind. So it works even there. Could I have the next slide, please? As Larry mentioned earlier, so the global tracking business in general, it's growing really rapidly. And after all, so as I mentioned, so we are in the disruptive market, and the driver for Sigfox IoT tracking is basically huge and big cost savings compared with other known systems or GPS tracking as an example. Uh, I would as well like to highlight that uh, for example this connected ranges. So there are different needs for the market and different needs by the customers. So the connected ranger is not it may be good for all the use cases, but for most of the use cases it's excellent. And by saying this, I just want to give you and highlight that the needs differs regarding what you are tracking basically. So it's you can as Larry mentioned, so it could be containers, it could be smaller goods that are extremely valuable. It could be humans, it could be animals, as mentioned earlier today. This tracking can take place uh, outdoors or indoors. Always when we are talking about indoor tracking, so GPS is not working inside. So that was the main reason for us to produce and to develop this Wi-Fi tracker that works even indoors. Even the needs regarding messages and how online, shall we say, how many times you want to know where the container is located, that differs. Someone says that hey, it's completely fine that I want to know that where my container is located once a day. Someone says that hey, I want to have a tracking system where I can see every minute where my fleet is. In those cases, Sigfox technology is probably not the right one because we have some restrictions regarding the amount of messages that can be sent over the network. Even battery life is extremely important to know that these, as we heard today in this Larry's presentation. So for example, I have a GPS tracker in my car, and that GPS tracker I have to charge the battery. I would say between 4 to 6 weeks. And but with the Wi-Fi tracker, for example, I have a full battery coverage for at least 5 years. So these are the changes. So or differences. The GPS tracker is really consuming a lot of power, and then it's a balance. If you want to have a GPS tracker, for example, that really lasts or has an extremely long battery life, then the shall we say shape or the size of the GPS tracker will automatically grow thanks to that you have to replace bigger batteries. And when the size grows, that means that the weight will grow and it's not more so convenient to install and use and to have on your own balance. So there are many different reasons and needs for these kind of tracking devices. And as I mentioned, so connected ranger that we have produced is only one of those. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, we were talking about this positioning and tracking market that is growing fast. Today, I mean, the trend on the market is basically that the companies, the corporates, they want to have a full control over their assets where they are today. As mentioned, so it can be trucks, it can be machines, it can be tools, expensive tools that you want to track. It could be, for example, we just now currently, I mean, last week we bumped into a case in Finland regarding this kind of dumpsters, trash dumpsters outside. So the local company might not be over here, so they don't know. They don't know where
Abdulaziz,
their assets basically allocated
yeah.
at all. So they
engineer,
want to
engineer,
track
they
these
call you.
assets and even for this purpose, connected.
I say engineer, they call you. Call
Perfect match. Could I have the next slide, please? The main features with connected ranges Wi-Fi tracker is first of all I would like to highlight, as I said, it's extremely small in my opinion. So it's around 10
webinar.
centimeters in length.
That one
Times
online
3 times
seminar.
4 centimeters. I beg you, when I have one
No, you can use it. I'm not really.
I'm actually squeeze it around with my fingers.
I don't know what's wrong
So
with this charger. This is just a phone now. Anyhow.
it's
I don't buy like
I
3
mean,
to 4 now.
it's
Just
Charger.
now my system charger.
Go
But
buy.
the only way come along with her, the thing don't consist. When you pick up your chest,
86
bad guy.
Go buy Folocom. Go buy Folocom.
Okay.
They sell them.
It has two
They
batteries
go see,
inside.
but it go cost.
The follow
It go
come
last.
warranty like how much?
5 years.
Kai, if you enter, I don't know.
You know
Guess
get
I
that
know now. Even 5, you don't even enter 5 years.
That means that we can send
Just go there or buy
Yeah,
new.
nice. I don't buy like 3 for one.
No buy new one. Go meet. They get engineer inside. Meet the engineer, make it arrange.
Okay.
This kind of for yeah.
So it
Those
will
ones they
for-
last.
for 5 years.
Engineer.
It operates on a global level. It has all the certifications, and what is as well good for you to know that all these Sigfox devices has a certain class, and this zero class is the best one that can be achieved. So that means that the antenna inside of this one is sending the most more strongly this kind of signal to the base station. So class 0 is the best one that you can really get. As well, so the IP rating, as I mentioned, these are IP68 rated devices, so you can use them. I used to say in hostel circumstances in total, so they work in really extreme conditions as well. Could I have the next slide, please? We will be looking on different use cases, and these 5 cases that I will walk you through are examples of how our customers are using these connected rangers. And we can go through them basically already. So if I can have the next slide, so I will explain this in detail what it's all about. The first one is a roll cage. The roll cage. So at least in our country, so we are in these kind of a grocery chains. So they have thousands or tens of thousands of these kind of roll cages in logistical usage. They fill goods in the shop from these roll cages. So they take them from the warehouse, the goods from the warehouse or from the stock to the shop level, and they fill the shelves with goods from these roll cages. Today, so the cost in our country for one roll cages is around 300 to 400 US dollars or euros. So they are rather expensive, and the problem is that around 10 to 15 percent of these roll cages disappears every year. So the grocery store chains, they're frustrated, and they need to buy more and more of these roll cages every year. They just disappear, They just, people take them, they take them to their own properties, they use them in construction work, they do whatever with them, but that's a fact that 10 to 15% is disappearing. So the grocery chain wanted to place this kind of positioning trackers, connected rangers into these roll cages, and today we can say that the savings is approximately almost 100,000 euros on a yearly base on pure hardware, plus the time and effort they have put into buying new roll cages, searching them, collecting them, asking where they are. Could you please send them back to the warehouse and so forth and so forth. So that's probably another 100,000 in work time that they have been saving. That's working well, and that's a fantastic thing that we have been able to solve for the client in practice. Could I have the second one? My second use case is it's coming soon. Is asset tracking indoors. It's a university hospital that wanted to have a full control of portable vital equipment. These are hospital equipments that are used to the patients. These are, for example, dialysis machines, different kind of vital life-saving machines that are used to. They are, the technology is fantastic today. They are smaller and smaller all the time. As you can see in the picture, they have small wheels below, so they are portable. You can move them from one room to another, from one floor to another, quickly where you need them. The problem has been that valuable time is lost. Sometimes even health issues escalates in these cases. They want to have a full control in the university hospital where these equipments are. Of course, the solution has been a positioning tracker placed on the medical equipment, and we have as well been indoors, especially indoors. We have placed this kind of beacons inside the different floors in order to really say that we can see that is the equipment located in the first floor or second floor or the third floor. So this gives a dimension of the floors as well. So the precision of the tracking and positioning is extremely good. The savings in this business case is naturally time saving and the control of super expensive fleet. These machines they are really valuable. So it's important for them to know where they are located. And of course, we're coming to these health issues that they are hopefully saving lives as well when they can speed up the treatments for the patients. Could I have the next one? Next slide, please. Yeah, chemical tank container tracking. We have a chemical company. They're delivering chemicals, liquids to their customers. They are selling it. They sell only the content, but this chemical company, they own the tanks. So they deliver these tanks to the customer to one point, and they leave it over there. And when the tank starts to be empty, they will collect this tank and then replace it with a new one. The problem for this company is that they are moving these tanks on the customer's property. Yeah. So they're leaving the container on one point. So it has to be picked up on the second point, or third point, or fourth point. So they are moving. The customer is moving these tanks internally, and that has, caused time losses and confusions for the company, for our client to pick them up. So by locating them with Wi-Fi trackers, they have been able to immediately to see where they are located, and then it's time saving and cost saving when they can really find them and replace them fast and quick. So around 30% is what they inform us that they have been able to save regarding time and speed in coming deliveries. So it's an efficiency percentage of these deliveries. Could I have this next slide, please?
We're getting to our last 2 minutes for this section.
Okay, then I will just speed up with the last one and truck trailer tracking. So as mentioned, what was mentioned by Larry. So I mean the trucks, they have many times GPS monitoring systems, etc. But the trailers don't. And in our use case, so our customer was interested to place trackers into the trailers basically, and just to monitor, I mean, how many kilometers or miles they're moving in order to predict the service need and to predict as well what is the right timing for him to sell them further. So this is a part of this fleet and asset management of this customer had, and that was his problem. And by respecting the timelines over here, so I would say, I mean, just as a summary of this presentation. So as Larry mentioned, so these products or the Sigfox technology is almost impossible to jam. They are secure, they are stable, they have very attractive price grids that you will be probably informed from IoT Africa separately. So and all of these goods and services, they are already available. Now we are not talking about anything that will become soon or they will be available next year and so forth. All of these are available right now. So it's up to you. Up to you how you want to utilize these and
I can hear
how you
you.
want to be, shall we say, more cost efficient in your business. That's basically it.
Okay. How are you? What's
Thank you
going
very
on?
much. Melanie, can we see just click through the slides in case there are more slides?
Okay, so you're fully awake now.
Yes, of course.
So you just decided not to pick my call.
Security tracking was one thing that I mentioned here. So we have a security
Okay.
company in Finland that is working together with insurance company, and they are tracking.
I was just worried now the message is wrong. Like, so is everything okay?
Luxury cars or more expensive cars that criminal leagues
Yeah.
are exporting basically to Russia. So that's one of these cases. We are looking forward.
Just like that, around 2 a.m.
Next slide.
Sorry, there's a slight lag when we change slides.
And you can take the following one. Okay.
He was telling her you should get away.
Jammers that are on the market.
Is it Baba that was already that guy?
So these kind of small jammers can be bought, for example, in Alibaba.
Oh, Baba does not sleep over. He's only that guy that stays.
But in order to jam Sigfox technology,
So it's during the day.
you need a truck. You need a truck. And
You said me I did what?
those jammers are basically only available for military service or governmental services, so they're not available. So that's the reason why Sigfox
Oh,
is extremely secure.
were they trying to break in or what?
You can take the next one as well. So
I've told you.
peace
That
of
will
mind,
be the case.
peace of mind with the technology. So you can take the following one.
What will happen to you that they will be able to open it?
Somebody else participation.
Inshallah, I'm just saying you should be careful. And you that don't like locking your door. Anytime you're inside, you lock yourself in. Still lock yourself in.
All right, that was a fantastic presentation. Every detail on the specific devices that I think in IoT working and having it telling us that the container is still on high seas. It's like, nope, I can see it. It's at the port already.
I know. I saw the way it was.
But on a more serious note, I think
Still,
that
can I be to say?
security applications are extremely.
It's a webinar. Don't know why you don't want to finish since now I want to sleep.
There's a lot of loss of goods and assets and
One IoT company.
and business resources and work.
I think I abandoned myself. There should be a replay or something.
Benefits that we do not take home is that
Internet of Things, like devices that communicate with the internet and communicate with each other. Not for my work, I just saw the advert and I was interested, so I signed up for the webinar.
Managing ourselves and our organizations, that's the one thing we have to focus on.
It's just
Managing resources.
this one is also I guess like seminar, but it's online.
And finding new ways to utilize.
We are listening to the woman now. There's a woman presenting right now, and there's question and answer section.
That we've done a test actually and found out that
Yes, your face is here now, so it's live.
a specific group was
No,
extremely
it's only the presenters.
To an extent that we have been causing headaches for those who may have been working.
It's Google Consumer button.
Which would eventually
If I wasn't using it, I'll probably be watching it for some
increase the drive within organizations and overcome these challenges caused by this current COVID-19 pandemic. And yet, some of us are partially working in the office. We could be working with daily juicy, know that there's oxygen without even knowing. And that's also a risk to our health. Now they're mentioning we're more health conscious. And something as simple as oxygen is for the most important element of the organization, which is the people that actually drive the business. So a lot of fantastic take homes, even looking at the capital business, where people just lose money and illnesses in agriculture. You lose 50% of your livestock due to temperatures, illness that cannot be detected. In the poultry farming as well. So the savings, the potential for savings, lives, assets, and resources is absolutely extremely significant, and that's something that I'm glad that we can all share today. So thank you, Mr. Lindblad. That was a fantastic presentation. We're very appreciative of you. For any inquiries on the devices that you're able to see on the Connected Finland presentation, you can get in touch with us. Our details are on the chat. And without further ado, I'd like to also thank Mr. Larry for his presentation earlier on. We're going to go into the Q&A. A fantastic amount of questions. We have 11 questions here in our Q&A. We also have some questions that were stated on the chat, so we're not going to leave those out. We're also going to take those questions. So first question is, let's go back to the top. Let's see. Okay, any
I can see one. It says, my question is, in a country like Nigeria, where there's poor electricity and high cost of data, how do we minimize data to maximize profits? Well, with Sigfox, you pay an annual charge, which is anything between 5,000, actually between 1,000 naira and 10,000 naira a year, depending on how many devices are actually, how many devices you connect. So if you're connecting, for example, 1 million devices, it's as low as 1,000 naira per device per year. You don't need data. You don't need electricity. You just buy the device, pay for the connectivity fee, and your device works for anything from 4 to 10 years, depending on the device and the number of messages you want to be sent from that device on a daily basis. So, of course, we do have devices that can monitor the electricity that comes into your premises so that you can compare your your own reading with the meter reading, you can know in advance whether you're consuming too much electric power and and cut down your usage if you're working to a budget, or find out why there's so much power being used. Maybe you can find out somebody's leaving a pump running all night when it shouldn't run all night. So that's on the electrical part. But basically, with Sigfox technology, once you pay for the connectivity fee, which is the annual fee, you don't have to pay any more money. It's just that.
That's right. I'd also like to just make it a point that I observed during the presentations. The IoT devices are predominantly wireless, so they're not connected to electricity. They run on their own batteries. And as of the cost of data, whereas you can view the signals on the data that is being received by the sensors on your phone. These are a small packets of information and less likely to run your data down if you're viewing on a platform the data that's coming from your sensors where everything might be located. So I think the IoT is very well positioned and not going to cost you much in any of these regards.
So, Tom, if you have, sorry to interrupt. Tom, if there are any questions that you'd like to answer, please feel free to just join. I want to take the second question. In monitoring diesel level, can your solution detect if water is mixed with the diesel and give you accurate reading for diesel level? Yes, of course. We have solutions that can easily do that. The more information you want and the more sophisticated the solution, the more expensive the item is. But I can assure you that it's a lot cheaper than changing your generator. Because sometimes poor quality diesel can have a significant or dramatic effect on the workings of a big generator. So if you're dealing with a very, very small, cheap generator, maybe it may not be cost effective, but in most cases, we can come up with a solution that is cost effective. So yes, we have solutions that can tell you how much water you have, how much diesel you have, what is the level of the diesel, what is the level of the water, because eventually the water will separate from the diesel, you see. So that's a company called Oleum Tech. There's also one of our partners, the pronunciation is Iot, A-I-U-T. They also have a solution that can do that. So that's the second question. The third question, in warehouses where goods are stored, which device would be advisable to use in monitoring the goods that are coming in for storage and leaving the warehouse? Tom, would you like to take that question?
Basically, it could be. I mean, depending a little bit about these goods what are placed there, but already our connected range is one possibility. It has an accelerometer meter, so immediately when the goods are moving, it will give a signal. So basically, this could be a solution. So absolutely something to look into.
Yes, and so you can use a combination of a Sigfox tracker with also a BLE, a beacon. So you can have a beacon on all of those. So you can have this NFC labels that can be put onto all your goods, and as soon as they pass the door, the Sigfox device will read it and send the information to you through the Sigfox network. So like I typed on one of the chats in this webinar, we'll be very happy to supply you the proposal for that solution, for the warehouse solution. That is one of the areas we specialize in. So that is Benin, do you have the next question for us?
Yes, the next question is there this is from IoT Sunday. Is there a tracking device for mobile which is not in form of software that I will need to install and uninstall? I believe the tracking device may be a physical tracking device that can fit on a phone, maybe track a mobile phone. So if you switched off the phone, it could still tap the phone on you.
Yes, technically speaking, basically it is a device, a very small device. It's made by a company called Simple Hardware, or Simple HW, one of our partners. And it's the size of a slim cigarette lighter, a plastic slim cigarette lighter. So it's very small, lightweight item. So technically speaking, you can super glue it onto your phone, and everywhere your phone is, you'll know where it is. That's not software based. It's Sigfox based, using Sigfox technology. Now, whether you would like this thing stuck onto your phone or not is another matter. But that's the smallest device that I currently know of in the Sigfox family. That if it's stuck onto a phone like mine, which is a big, quite a big phone, it would basically be the size of my little finger, but the thick that on the phone. Now, TikTok also has a button tracker, that is in development. Um, but what the lifespan of that button tracker will be, I don't know. It may not be up to 4 years, but then again, technology is improving all the time. Where we're doing power harvesting, where the batteries are getting to last longer and longer and longer. So, next question then.
There's another question, and it goes like this. This is from Mr. Henry Okeke. If I am to track materials from the pit to the market, is it possible to calculate the quantity from the pit to the market so that I can have control over the volume of both liquid and solid materials?
Well, the answer to that is definitely yes, and I'll tell you how to do it. If you have a weighing platform, you can connect the weighing platform to our Sigfox network and get information about the weight of product that has left your pit. Um, and at arrival, if it has to pass through another weighing platform, it can also send information to you. But weighing platforms are not cheap. So it depends on the value of the materials that you are transporting. Um, so, but volume of liquid is a lot easier. If you're loading a tanker, then we can put a level sensor in the tanker and tell you the level of the liquid all the way through the journey, even until it arrives at the point. We can put a flow meter onto the pipe that discharges the liquid, and we can measure what volume of liquid actually left the tanker if it's a liquid. So we have very comprehensive, detailed tanker monitoring solutions that monitor where the tanker is, the level of the liquid in the tanker, the hatches of the tanker. We can electronically lock the nozzle so nobody can open it, and you can remotely open it. We also can, there's one more thing we can detect. Okay, that's what I can think of right at the moment. So we can also detect the volume of the diesel or the petrol in the truck that's transporting your product. So we will always know when the diesel for the truck is finishing or not. Because many times the drivers will tell you the diesel finished, whereas it didn't finish, and they claim double money. So that we can do. Yeah.
That's something that IT actually does. It eliminates, to a certain extent, the trust issues between different levels of operation of any organization.
Yeah,
that brings us to.
I have a popular saying. The job of the manager is not to trust; it's to manage and control. And IoT helps your managers to manage and control, removes the human element out of reporting, and gives you true, real information directly to whoever's supposed to receive it, thereby eliminating the possibility of a human being in the process um, changing the figures, adulterating reports, etc. Yeah, Melanie, over to you.
This question from anonymous attendee says, is there any device that can connect LED light bulb IP panoramic camera, an LED light bulb IP panoramic camera, so that it can be accessed from anywhere?
Yes, but not currently not Sigfox. The answer is yes, but currently not Sigfox.
All right. On to our next question by Mr. Henry Okeke. How do we protect the smart device installed outdoors, especially in companies that work on the field?
Some of the devices can be welded on. Some of them can be stuck on the glue that's extremely difficult to remove. I don't think you can fully, absolutely protect a device from somebody who comes with a sledgehammer or an electric saw. So all we do is make sure that the casings are tough, that the devices are properly and well attached to the container that is supposed to be trapped. So
like it, I don't like it.
we minimize the ease. So we maximize the difficulty of removing the device or damaging the device. But there's no foolproof method from somebody who's really, really passionate and determined to destroy something. And that goes for any asset in the world.
Settle down, when you go settle down, go. That's the way you enjoy it.
Really have the tools to do it. So, but we just minimize their chances by having methods by which to attach things. Tom, what experience have you had in attaching the Fox and Ranger to cages and containers?
Yeah. I mean, exactly as you said. So, if someone wants to take them away or break them, basically, so of course they can do it if they have the right tools. The connected
Finland.
range is so robust that
He's finished.
our research engineer said that
Have you finished now,
you can
Grandpa?
drive over this ranger with a military tank and it won't break. But anyway, so by placing these in places that are a little bit, hidden, that you can't see them with your own eye. They are still rather small in different machines or motor vehicles, so you can hide them rather well. But of course, if you really start to search for them, if you really want to take them away, so of course it's possible. But that's our experience. So far, so good. So we haven't experienced a single device that would have been detached from the core battery.
All right, that's fantastic. We have a question
Ayola.
and that is, can we get more information on the nationwide coverage of the Sigfox network in Nigeria?
Yes, well, currently we have covered Lagos State, Agbara, Osa, all the way to Boston. The rollout is in progress, and we intend to cover the entire nation by the end of next year. So we'll be covering 42% of the national population and 85% of the urban population within by the end of next year. Thereafter, we will be moving into areas that haven't been covered by the first rollout, and densifying the network to make sure we give you the best coverage. Our plan basically is to create a situation where every device can see 3 of our radios. We call them base stations, but essentially they're radios. Can see 3 of our radios, so that there can be almost no possibility of connectivity not being established. Yes. So basically, for all of Lagos State, Agbara, Ota, mostly we're covered now. We can give you service immediately. But for outside Lagos, okay, we have 5 5 base stations in Port Harcourt. So the entire area around the Shell residential and Shell industrial area is covered. We have 5 base stations in Abuja, which covers basically the business district of Abuja. So we have some coverage in Abuja, some coverage in Port Harcourt, and we have extensive coverage in Lagos State. So Lagos State is essentially a smart is essentially smart city enabled. So Lagos in Nigeria is the first smart city enabled city in Nigeria.
All right. We have about still 16 questions unanswered. Just to let everyone, all the participants know, any questions that don't get answered on this webinar will be answered directly to you via mail. So not to worry about that.
Also, Melanie, what we intend to do, I don't know about Tom's time frame or schedule, but what I would say is that we scheduled to end this webinar, I think, at 12:30. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct.
So we respect the time of everybody. Because I think so are some of the questions. For those who have a bit more time, I'd love to hear the answers to the questions. We can do so. The video will be available probably on YouTube and sent to you also. For those who sent the link, it will be sent to you so you can watch it again and get more out of the webinar. I'm happy to continue to answer the questions even beyond the time. We know that some of the participants may have to leave because of other engagements. We respect that. We're very happy that you were able to join us today. And for those of you who can't stay on to go through the answers or to listen to the answers firsthand, you can always log on and get the answers there, or reach out to us, ask your specific questions, and we will respond directly to you.
Thank you very much for that. That's quite right. We will be responding to. Yes. We will be responding to all questions, and still we can continue this conversation after we have gone through all of these questions. So I'd like to take us to one question that has been asked twice. So I'd really like to attend to it, and it says, can we expand on some potential use cases for how IoT can benefit the financial services industry? It's a little bit of asset tracking in an industrial way, but still there are lots of IoT solutions that apply to the financial services industry. Mr. Larry,
if I may ask, Melanie, who asked that question, if you don't mind me asking?
This is Mr. Olusegun Ademi.
Okay, I'm trying to find it. Was that in the chat or in
the Q&A module? Can you please expand on some potential use cases for how IoT can benefit the financial services industry?
Okay, this is how it can help. Now, in America, the financial service